नानाशास्त्रविचारणैकनिपुणौ सद्धर्मसंस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधाकृष्णपदारविन्दभजनानन्देन मत्तालिकौ वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ. So we are studying Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, text 3. 6 items that enhance bhakti. Utsaha nishchayat dhairyat tattat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vrittehe Shadbhir bhakti prasidhyati. There are 6 principles favorable for the execution of pure devotional service. Utsaha, being enthusiastic. Nishchaya, endeavoring with confidence. Dhairya, being patient. Tat karma pravartana, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. Sangatyaga, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And Sato Vritti, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone after a gap of month, 3 weeks, and we hope you had a good time following these verses that we are learning in our classes. Which is the group that is going to present today? You have come prepared? So please set it up for yourself. I'll just in the meantime quickly take an overview. So we discussed Utsaha, endeavoring with intelligence. Nishchaya, endeavoring with confidence. And Dhairya, endeavoring with patience. It is everything to do with initiative and resourcefulness that we use to perform activities in bhakti. What do we use? Initiative. We are self-propelled. And resourcefulness. We have abundance of resources around us. We have first of all our own body, mind, intelligence as our resources. Then we have our home, hearth, kith and kin. Then we have money, gadgets, vehicles, technology. And then of course we have our neighborhood and other people around to be engaged in Krishna service. So we have abundance. We have a lot of things around. So initiative and resourcefulness. With great effort, we perform activities to engage all these in Krishna service. And then last time we had tat karma pravartanat, which basically meant following things as if in military discipline, in a regulated manner. Feelings later, duty first. So we discussed how we should conduct our day-to-day activities as a regime, and we also discussed what to do to get that feeling while we do them. So today we will see from this group Sangatyaga. Who is the next group? Sato Vritti. You are also ready? You have assumed that it will be in the next class. Okay. I was planning to finish both the things today itself. So if you have anything ready, you can.
I could be ready at
So let us hear from these illustrious devotees what they have prepared painstakingly on the topic Sangatyaga, abandoning the association of unfavorable personalities, unfavorable to Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna. So we are presenting on the Sangatyaga topic from this verse, and we have Ajay Chandak Prabhu, our leader, and Vijay Krishna Prabhu and myself, Urukrama Krishna Das. So I was wondering, why did Ajay Chandak Prabhu keep that light there? And he explained that there are very few devotees or very few people who desire to give up the wrong association and take up the good association. So that is what is explained in the coming slides.
I don't know how to hide myself, I'm too tall.
So we know that we often say that we are known by kind of company we keep. So one may wonder what is wrong with keeping a bad association as long as I'm doing my sadhana very nicely. But if we study this verse, Utsahat Nishchayat Dharyat Tatat Karva Pramartanat, so all these things are required for doing any activity for that matter, not only devotional service. But if we keep bad company and do all these activities, then we will obviously lead to a wrong path. We will derail from our objective. We will rather do something else than doing devotional service. And just by associating with non-devotees, we kind of help to develop our thoughts in such a way, we kind of fan our material desires or the desires which are not favorable for devotional service. So that's where we are answering why it is important to give up the association of non-devotees. So let us understand who are non-devotees. So non-devotees are kind of largely into three categories: karmis, jnanis, and yogis. So karmis are those people which we all know which are hankering for material desires, material fulfillments. Jnanis are aspiring for the knowledge, and yogis are aspiring for the siddhis. So we should give up association of all these kind of people. And how we can give up that association? One is we can just give up the association, but probably without a proper engagement, without a positive association, will not be able to completely or properly give up that association. We might, because of our previous conditioning, we might again get into that association. So what acharyas have given us is the positive association. So Prabhupada has very wonderfully given us this ISKCON society to associate with the devotees. So we should associate with devotees not only on a physical level, but like Rupa Goswami in the further verse explains how we should associate, like dadati pratigannati and all those stuff. So on like that we should associate with devotees. So coming to the examples from scriptures, I will not talk about all of these, but just brief on couple of these. Like the first example that we know is of Kala Krishna Das. So Kala Krishna Das, he was in association of Krishna himself. He was in association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because of association of Bhattari people, he left company of Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, and he went ahead and started associating with them, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dragged him back. So that is the so strong bad association can be. Then we know the example of Jada Bharat. So in case of Jada Bharat, he in his previous life he knew already the bad effects, ill effects of bad association, or even I would say even the so-called bad association, which is not favorable for devotional service. He associated with deer, and because of his association, although he left his kingdom, left his wealth and everything, but just because of association with deer, he kind of derailed from his objective. And that's the reason in the next life he was very careful on what kind of people he's associating with. So he was very careful, and he was kind of acting as an insane man, not to associate with worldly people. And there is one more example of Ajamil. So Ajamil, so this one example is of like association at subtle level. So he did not initially, when he saw that that lower class woman and a man in the forest, he did not associate with them on a physical level. He did not talk to them, but just by seeing them and associating with them at the level of mind very subtly, still he got affected, and he developed that desire of kind of having that relationship with that woman. So I would now request Ajay Prabhu to take through our next slides.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So he explained it so nicely. I think I just stressed a little more on why. As we also known that Prabhupada has given a very simple ABCD to follow devotional service. Association, B, books, chanting and diet. Engagement is in seva service. So the power of association is so strong, even if you somehow, for whatever reason, leave your all B, C, D, E, but if you are strong at A, you can pick up whatever you are left, wherever you are left in your devotional service. So it has strong. Positively, negatively, again, it's equally very powerful. If you are, there are examples, as he said, even if you are with the Lord himself and in a bad association, it's so strong that you will derail from your devotional service. Kala Krishna Das example he gave. There are many more examples in the scriptures. So I would like to just read a very famous quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this is a quote which Prabhupada has referred many times in his lectures, in his talks, in purports, translation, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. When it was asked to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the behavior, how do we identify who is Vaishnava? So this is what he is saying. Asat Sangatyaga eva Vaishnavara achara Stri Sangha eka asadhu Krishna bhakta ara. So what it means, I'm just reading it, what's written there by Prabhupada. A Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Common people are very much materially attached, especially to women. Vaishnavas should also avoid the company of those who are not devotees of Lord Krishna. So in this slok, it's explained asat. Now, asat, there are two meanings which has been mentioned in here. Asat is one is non-devotee. Anyone who is non-devotee, don't associate it with them. Second meaning of that is anyone who is very much attached to material things, woman, money, power, position, fame, anything materially. So the two important things to remember has been explained here in Asat is not to associate with material people and the one who is non-devotee. By associating with worldly people, one becomes devoid of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of the mind, control of the senses, fortune, and all opportunities. One should not at any time associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of self-realization and who is no more than a toy animal in the hands of a woman. The illusion and bondage that accrue to a man from attachment to any other object are not as complete as that resulting from association with a woman or with men or with a man who is too much attached to a woman. So Prabhupada explained how at any given point of time everyone has two choices. So to make that decision, whether it's like a junction, so if you're associating and following a path, then you reach your destination. And if you're taking a wrong decision, associating with non-devotees or material people, you get derailed from your path of bhakti. There are many. I think I would focus on the first one. There are many more quotes. Is it okay? Should I read or read? Okay. I'll just read from Srimad Bhagavatam what Prabhupada says. One should never associate with materialistic persons, for by doing so, all one's assets are lost and he falls from his position. In Bhaktya Loka, it's mentioned, if one associates with non-devotees, very quickly his intelligence will be polluted and his heart will be overcome by their propensities. If anyone desires to attain pure devotional service, he should carefully give up the association of non-devotees. Again in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 10th chapter, 8th slok, if we give up the association of sadhus, saintly persons, engaged in Krishna consciousness, and associate with persons seeking sense gratification and accumulating wealth for this purpose, our life is spoiled. One should always seek the association of Vaishnavas and not spoil one's life by mixing with Vaishnavas. So that's so very strong out of, as he said, the shlok which we are reading, enthusiasm, determination, all other qualities. If you're associating with a person who has that quality, you will imbibe those qualities. So association is so very strong. So there are various scenarios we have mentioned that we, in some other time in our life, we come across various opportunities to associate or not to associate. So we have just aggregated into various scenarios which every one of us must have gone through. And I will just list down the scenarios and hand it over to Vrindavan Krishna Prabhu to elaborate that. We are saying that in scenarios where association with materialistic friends, everyone has friends, colleagues. So what do you do? How do you avoid the pitfall of taking association of non-devotees? So that's one scenario. Association with office colleagues, business colleagues. So that's another scenario. How do you avoid association of non-devotees there? Scenario 3 is association with not favorable relatives, because you still have to maintain your relationship with your family members, with your relatives, but how do you avoid association of not so favorable relatives? Scenario 4, dealing with non-favorable close family members. Now this is a little tricky because here is what you live with them. So day in and day out you are with them. You are very, very close family members. Spouse, children, parents, grandparents. So how do you deal with this scenario? So I would request Vrindavan Krishna Prabhu to elaborate. Thanks.
Haribol. Yeah, so basically Sangha Tyag, it's one of the it's one of the really important aspects of devotional life. I heard in one class somewhere that these verses Rup Goswami is giving a really condensed and it's like sutras. So you have in 6, he's categorizing it in 6 words, right? Almost what is helpful for devotional life, and in a previous verse in 6 words he's categorizing what is not helpful. So even in such a condensed form, in both in what is unfavorable, it is mentioned Janasangha, and what is favorable, it is mentioned Sangatyaga. He's actually repeating it twice, so it's really important. And along with being really important, it's also like really challenging, because as we saw in the previous slide, all of us, especially, we go out in the world and we're interacting with many people, and avoiding their association and still not somehow giving a presentation of people who practice Krishna consciousness or devotees as these people are too like they have an attitude, or they don't interact with other people and they're kind of stuck up or loners. We don't want that, because we want to attract people to the organization. We want to give them also Krishna consciousness, and yet at the same time we know how important it is to avoid their association. So it's a very challenging thing, and myself also, all of us, we are struggling, so it's very hard to speak, but based on what we have read or heard. So for the first scenario about materialistic friends, so we can do things on two levels. One is the gross level, where actually we can take steps to reduce our association, or in quantity or in quality, to whatever extent we can, which is practical. And other than that, there is some because of our situation, we'll be forced to take some association. So in spite of that, there is some subtle things that for myself which can help me internally to not take association. So we'll talk about those. So for materialistic friends, there's a quite simple step that you just, as far as possible, we should not have too many friends outside devotees, outside the devotee circle. So like if in our workplace there are some devotees, we can associate with them and become friendly with them rather than our other colleagues. And same if you're staying at home and around our home as well, as far as possible, if there are devotees staying, then that way. Yeah, and if there aren't any, then of course Prabhupada used to say that if you don't have association, make association, but that is challenging, but as far as possible, yeah. And yeah, so with colleagues, again, you should interact only as much as we need to on an official level and not become intimate. So everywhere, actually, this thing, you can see it everywhere, that what does association actually mean? There are those 6 things, that you give gifts, you take gifts, you give food, you take food, you tell your heart secrets to the other person, you listen to their hearts. So this is actually what association is, not just being in the same room and sitting. That is not really association. So as far as possible, we should avoid doing these things, especially with people who are not devotees, and not become intimate and close with them. Yeah. And so that was for colleagues. And for relatives and friends, we should only attend as social events that are necessary. We should do that, not that we become loners entirely, but we should do it as less as possible. And media and gadgets, the internet, it's a huge amount of association with matter. So like Balgovind Prabhu actually always says that you time it when you sit in front of the computer, exactly what you need to do it for like half an hour, 1 hour, move out like that. And internally, as far as possible, we should try and develop an outlook where we see people not based on their material situation, but we try and see them as children of God and our brothers, sisters, and try and see them spiritually, so that we feel, if they're, that we see them as, if there's the innocent materialist, we can feel compassion for their situation and try and give them Krishna consciousness as far as possible. And if someone is really against Krishna consciousness and devotional life, then we should just avoid their association like that. And still, as much as possible, that is the thing, even when we have to be associating with non-devotees and all, when talks become too materialistic in nature, or just, then we try and just be quiet, and if we can't move away from there, we just try and do our own thing, and like that. Remember Krishna in our heart, like that. Yeah, and then there's the other side of actively cultivating association of devotees. as far as practical. Like now in Pune, many of us have moved closer to the new temple and are trying to stay in a community. So like that. Or we can, in student life, some devotees in Pune especially, they stay in a group of like-minded students, like that. So yeah, that's our presentation. Thank you. There's just one last one.
So we would like to thank all of you for this time, and especially Govind Prabhu for giving us this opportunity to really associate at our mind's level, contemplate, think, and like association with devotees also increases. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So please repeat after me. You are an average of 5 people you regularly associate with. So find out who are those 5 people that you regularly associate with. Sum total of their attitudes, sum total of their actions, divided by 5 are your attitudes and your actions in life. That is how powerfully we get carried away. Lord Krishna says, Karanam guna sangha asya sad asad yoni janmasu. Depending on what kind of modes we regularly associate with, we take our births in our next life. And the most famous verse from Bhagavad Gita, Sangat sanjayate kamaha. The quality of desires in our heart is directly proportional to the quality of association that we keep. And it all begins with desire. Krishna consciousness begins with desire. And material life also begins with desires. So we are guarding actually the garden of our heart. We all have a garden of our heart. And Guru has come, mercifully sown Bhakti Lata Bij. And you just now tender creeper has come out of Bhakti Lata, just blossoming. And in this stage it's very, very vulnerable. So there are so many problems with the small creeper that comes out. First is that somebody may trample on it, or somebody may some goat may come and browse it, or if there is no enough fencing around, then some school going boy coming out, just pluck it out and walk out from the place. Similarly, our Bhakti Lata Bij is so tender that any small disturbance is enough for sometimes halting our spiritual practice for quite a bit of time. If not one lifetime, sometimes lifetimes. So we have to be very careful that we guard this tender Bhakti Lata that is just sprouting in our hearts. So imagine if there is a huge beautiful garden. How many of you do gardening? Okay, so they will have experience. If there is a beautiful garden you are cultivating, then it is very important to not only just water and fertilize and sunshine, but also regularly remove weeds. And you don't sow weeds, right? Nobody goes and sows weeds in the garden. But somewhere they come from. So like that, in the garden of our heart, the Bhakti Lata is already there, sprouting. But as and when we associate with other people around. So if you associate with Karmi, you get Bhukti, material enjoyment desires. If you associate with Jnani, you get Mukti, desires. Wanting to be free from suffering, leading a non-active, comfortable and trouble-free material life.
Joyful and trouble-free.
Joy-free and trouble-full.
Yeah, trouble-free also.
And then comes yogi. Their association gives in our heart the desires of siddhi. So bhukti, mukti, siddhi. So we want to develop some material perfections in our life. I want to be like this, be like that. And then waste a lot of time pursuing that type of ambition. So the best association for a sadhaka is a spiritual master's association. And We sang this verse, Ei baro karuna karo, or O he Vaishnava Thakura. These verses when we sing, the songs when we sing, we have to be very prayerful that we receive regularly such association and be benefited in our life. All of us have heard that famous story, but anyways, I like telling stories, so we'll hear once again. That once upon a time, there was a beautiful lake, huge lake, vast. It looked like an ocean practically. On the bank of that lake was a jamun tree on which lived a monkey. And there was a crocodile who stayed in that lake, who would regularly come and lay itself on the bank of the lake for tanning its skin. Sunbath. Even crocodiles do that. So what happened? That once this monkey, by mistake, the fruit that he was eating, jamun, it fell. And the crocodile had it. And he said, wow, what a taste. He said, can you throw a little more? So the monkey, put a whole bunch, like that. So the crocodile had it. He liked it even more. I said, so nice, so nice. You are such a nice person. And talking, dadati pratigrunati, bhungte bhojayate. They gradually became very thick friends. And the monkey would usually come and sit just next to the crocodile, and the crocodile would talk his stories of the lake, and the monkey would talk the stories of the land. And then there was so much to share. They had a whole internet, and in this way they increased each other's know-how, of the world. So one day, the crocodile, because he used to get late to go home, his wife was very suspicious of her husband. Where is my husband spending his time nowadays that he comes late? So she got on his case one day. She said, tell me the truth. Who is that other she-crocodile that you found? He said, I make patni vrat. I don't look at others. I am peaceful with you and happy, no issues. But I have got a new nice monkey friend. And he feeds me nice jamun, and we chat a nice, Google chat or what else. So we have a lot of good time with each other. So that's why I'm getting late. As soon as she heard the name monkey, the Mataji, crocodile, she became so excited. She said, oh, monkey, I have heard a lot about monkeys. I have especially heard that their heart is very succulent and tasty. Bandar ka kaleja bahut meetha hota hai. So she said, I want you to get him for breakfast, which is our breakfast, not his breakfast. He's going to be our breakfast. And what? This crocodile became so anxious. He said, hey, this is impossible. I cannot cheat my friend. It is very difficult. Ask me something else. I can give you iPhone 6 if you want, but not this one. So she said, no. If you cannot bring your friend for my breakfast, then I will understand that there is no such a thing as monkey. There is another affair going on here, and then you will have it. So she threatened him like this. So the crocodile was catch 22. He didn't know what to do. His loyalty to his friend, his affection for his wife. So generally, because he was a henpecked husband, he thought, okay, what to do now? So then finally he went that day, and he said to the monkey, every day, I come here, you feed me, and I talk to you. It's nice, but sometimes I feel that I should do something for you. So why don't you come to my home? And I would like to, extend my hospitality. Monkey was very happy. He said, no problem. He had trusted him. So he said, let's go. How do we go there to your home? He said, sit on my back. Don't worry, I'll not go below the water. I'll float, so that you will have that water walking siddhi, He said, really? Okay. Monkey was quite adventurous in spirit. So he said, yeah, let's do it. So then the monkey got on the back of the crocodile. The crocodile went into the water. Gradually, I started going deep into the lake, in the middle of the lake. The monkey started becoming jittery. He started looking everywhere. There is nothing other than water. And he didn't know how to swim. So he started jumping on the back here, there. He said, okay, enough Pune Darshan. Take me back. I want to go back. He said, no. Abhi the story has not ended. I'm sorry to tell you, my friend, but what can I do? My wife told me that she wants to eat the heart of a monkey. And today you are invited not for breakfast, but for making your breakfast for our home. And the monkey jumped on the back. He said, at his mind, started working like a supercomputer. He started thinking, my God, how to get rid of this situation. So then henpecked husbands are not very intelligent, usually. So the monkey said, wait a minute. Why did you not tell me that earlier? That your wife wanted to enjoy the heart of mine. You did a big mistake. I said, really? He said, we monkeys, because our heart is so succulent and juicy, we don't carry it around. We always keep it on the jamun ka ped. And then we go around. So anybody who wants to catch us, they know it's useless catching this monkey because the heart is still in the tree. Oh, really? The crocodile said, so what do we do now? He said, you just take me back and I will go climb up the tree and come back again with my heart, and then you carry me back to your wife. He said, really? No problem. So this fool, he brought him back. And as soon as the bank came nearby, the monkey gave a simultaneous long jump and high jump. Boom! He landed on the ground. Boom! He went inside the tree and he looked at this crocodile and said, Tenga! Said, get lost, you rascal. I don't want to see your face anymore. No more friendship. He said, hey, wait a minute. You have to come back. He said, nothing doing. Finally, my life has got saved. Now you get lost. So the poor crocodile had to go back. I don't know what his wife did with him. The story must be longer. So we'll end there. So now, when I first time heard this story, a lot of thoughts came in my head. But I would like to hear from you in terms of our Sangatyaga. What do you understand from this story?
Crocodile associated with this right who was evil-minded.
The crocodile was actually innocent, but it associated with other evil people. And that's how it affected. Similarly, Swaminathan, similarly,
we will also be prone to such.
Sometimes we have innocent friends who are not vicious, bad, sinful, all that. But their associations are very deadly. From where they come. And once in a while, they get ideas from there. What is to be done. So they can be potentially very contaminating. Any other? Let's see, how many who tells? One Prabhu, one Mataji. Like that we'll go. We'll count the score at the end. Any other lesson?
Crocodile is also representing Maya. How Maya entraps us and takes us deeper and deeper into not good things. But if we have some sukruti, some intelligence, good intelligence, we can come back to us.
Okay. It is never too late to come back, Even if no matter how deep you have gone in Maya, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna can give you intelligence to come out from that situation. So crocodile is compared to Maya, monkey is compared to Jiva. The Jiva has adventurous spirit of enjoyment. That is what is the trouble, that he doesn't realize. And then he has to make some plan to come back. Any other lessons? Sachin bro?
At least they are like monkey at last. Try to come out. If you are going, at least come out.
Okay. So Prabhuji is saying, Der hai durust hai. Whenever the intelligence dawns upon you that I have gone too far in Maya, you better trace your path back. Don't waste too much time. Okay?
Henpecked husbands are not intelligent.
Henpecked husbands are not intelligent. That is your conclusion, or?
One point from the story, it
Oh, okay. So what does means in our context?
We should take guidance from seniors and from guru and seniors who we trust rather than
Yes. We should not become henpecked by Maya and her associates.
Be firm on your values.
Huh?
Be firm on your values.
Be firm on your own values. Others may try to take disadvantage of you. You put your foot down.
मंकी को और कोई बिजनेस नहीं था, इसके अलावा कि वो किसी और स्कूटी के और ऐसे डेंजरस दिखने वाले फ्रेंड के साथ उसको फ्रेंडशिप कर रही है.
She's become really angry with him for doing that. What's the use? Why he has to go and associate with the crocodile in first place? All dangerous animal, you know. So sometimes we get this inexplicable urges, you know, where we get पंगा लेने का बहुत, so we get into this kind of things. Prabhu's.
Initially it looked like the monkey felt that the crocodile there is some juice, it's helpful, you get to learn about the lake and but then once you never know like
Okay, sometimes in the beginning it sounds very advantageous to get to know that other side of the story, but later on that is actually acting as a hook for getting us into trouble. Yes.
act intelligently at the right time. When the monkey came to know that the danger, so it immediately acted and
Yeah, what was that intelligent thing that he did?
it used the innocence or the बेवकूफ़ी of that crocodile that he doesn't understand कि हाथ भी उधर रहेगा.
Yeah.
तो एक हाथ भी उधर रखे
Okay. You're close. One point I'm looking for. What does that heart in the tree mean to us?
We should always keep our
goal of life.
Our goal of life.
We keep making other things a goal and we keep running for those things. But when we realize we can leave everything and focus on it.
Yes.
We should give our heart only to Krishna.
Very intelligent. Keep your heart in the temple, our tree, at the feet of Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And then you go on wandering around, not on the backs of crocodiles, but outside the tree area, to find your food and clothing and shelter and all that. So a devotee's heart is dedicated to Krishna and his service, and he doesn't give it to anybody. One time our Jananivas Prabhu was given a proposed letter, by some brahmacharini in Mayapur temple, saying that, you are such a dedicated devotee, I also don't want to waste my time doing materialistic activities. Let's get married. I 100% assure you that I will only serve Radha Madhav. No other ulterior motives in this marriage. So, and then she wrote a lot of things about, my heart is given to you, ... So Jananivas Prabhu wrote back saying that my heart is already given to Radha Madhav. I have nothing else to give anybody, around. So he excused himself of that situation. Some brahmachari stories in between. So the point is, you give the heart to Radha Krishna, and then if somebody comes and tells you, where is your heart? You tell them, I'm sorry, I have only one and that's already gone. So, yes, any other?
Yeah, don't try to explore the undiscovered,
uncharted territories of Maya. Sometimes we get this, fancy, to explore Maya. So we have to be careful. This curiosity kills the cat. Or
curiosity kills either the cat or the monkey.
the monkey. Any other?
This monkey was trying to do everything on his own. He did not take any guidance also. So don't preach crocodile.
Don't preach to crocodile. Take superior advice. Be under somebody's vigilance. Be in the firing range of your spiritual master. You understand that term? Be in the firing range of the spiritual master, which means anywhere, wherever you are going, whatever you are doing, in between, if something is going on, you can be nearby, so that you can. So that's okay. Yes.
We
do not get carried away by the sweet words of so-called good friends who might in the end stab you in the back.
Yes, usually they do. So those who speak sweetly and try and cultivate, friendship, you should be careful.
Even person like crocodile who is with different danger animal. If he is associating with someone who is simple, joyful, he also his behavior attitude changes. But then we have to guard that once he is changed, then he doesn't come in association.
Okay. Interesting.
There was a lot of waste of time.
Yeah, the monkey really wasted his time.
He was safe. Later on he was safe, but in between there was
Yeah.
so much waste of time.
Yes. So usually all of us should keep this story in mind, because we do need to associate or be in the company of many a times the varieties of those asat sangha. How do we deal with them? So this is second analogy. This is called kabaddi. We know the kabaddi analogy. Kabaddi has got three basic policies. You have to keep saying kabaddi, 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 and not lose your breath. Second, you must touch the baseline on the other side. And third, if possible, make somebody out and get them on your party. Similarly, going in the material world and doing our job and not get caught yourself by them. That's fourth, I think. So in the material world, we are going and doing our duties, as a family or occupation or whatever. So we have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and not lose our Krishna consciousness. So in the early morning only, we should take enough breath, 16 rounds. So that, by the end of the day, whenever the consciousness is discharging, we back into our baseline, our own territory. And the second is to touch the baseline on the other side, means we must be dutiful. There are duties to be completed. We cannot tell our boss, asat sangha tyag yai Vaishnavachar. You asat sangha, So we have to go do the needful, whatever is the job description, and boss prasadat, company prasado, boss prasadat, na gati kutopi. So you do that, and then you come home. Not that you start sightseeing there, after having done the job. And third is to preach and create a portion of material energy converted into spiritual energy by our Shabda Brahma, the dealings especially that we have with people. So we influence them to become Vaishnavas. If not Vaishnavas, at least favorable to Vedic culture and ISKCON. That much we should do by our behavior. And then fourth is not get caught. So I remember in my school, we had one boy, he had failed 4 times in 9th standard. Yeah, so when I went in 9th standard, he was like 4-5 years older to me and all of our batch. And he would always sit at the back bench and do a huge mischief, in the classroom. He was like notorious. But he was also very kind, means he was very helpful to others. Although he was a duh, as they call, uska idhar tha, bheja. But his body had grown like anything, So what would happen, whenever our kabaddi match would get fixed in our school, so his name was Bharat. So Bharat ko bulao. So Bharat ke naam par hum log kabaddi kisi ke bhi saath khelne ke liye tayar hote the. So what would happen, we would go for kabaddi, and he was such a huge personality that he would go in the opposite side, kabaddi, 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 like that he would enter. And when he would enter, people would start shivering on the other side. So some of the boys, they would gather some courage and grab him, like that. So as soon as somebody would grab him, he would look at him and give a wicked hasya. And that person will not understand what happened or what is going to happen now. And then seeing that one person's courage, second boy would jump on him and grab him, the third boy and the fourth boy. So he would allow, people to grab him, kind of. And then he's kabaddi, that is continuing. And then after enough boys have captured him, sometimes the whole team, he would simply turn around and drag everybody back on this line. He had so much power. And the boys would be, one pillow match over. There is no discussion anywhere, nothing to be done. So Prabhupada was like that Bharat, Not in the context of failing 4 years, that type, but Prabhupada went to America and he had such power of Krishna consciousness. And whoever latched on to him, Prabhupada didn't become like them. He turned around, took them to Krishna, and made them into wonderful Vaishnavas. He had this amazing power. So all of us also should become hatta-katta in spiritual life and also take the challenge of dealing with the non-devotee world around. Not that after hearing all these topics, anywhere you go outside, you have to tell, boy, कृष्णा की कसम, मैं अपना फॉल डाउन होने नहीं दूंगा और तेरे को डिवोटी बना के छोड़ूंगा. So we have to have this type of connection first of all with our own spiritual culture, that we don't get deterred. So in the beginning it is good that we cultivate healthy fear and make sure that no nonsense. But as we grow in spiritual life, we should actually develop the ability to deal with any and every kinds of people without getting contaminated and bring them within the fold of Krishna consciousness. And if you find that certain levels of association we are not able to handle, then also to know this is not to be dealt with. So both we have to develop. So that was about Kabaddi. I wish you all the best for your Kabaddi every day. And please remember, it begins with a good morning program. And another thing, while associating with people around, we have too much of facts that we tell them. So I want you to repeat something. Facts tell, stories sell. Which means, for example, you go for book distribution. So we generally have 700 verses, 18 chapters, so many color pictures. You are telling facts. So facts only tell, but stories actually sell. So I remember Vaisheshika Prabhu, I had recently gone to San Jose, the hub of Sankirtan, book distribution and Harinam, the best that the congregation can ever do in the world. And the leader, Vaisheshika Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, is just amazing. So one hippie came and he said to Vaisheshika, he gave him Krishna book and he really liked it. He said, wow, what a book. And George Harrison is saying everyone is looking for Krishna. Some people know it and some don't. That's the only difference. So he got attracted and he said, I'm taking this book. So he said, give a donation. And then suddenly his mind changed. He said, I will not take this book today, I'll take it tomorrow. Now, often these kind of things you don't have any answers to, right? What will you talk? Le lo bhai, abhi haath mein hai, le lo. Nahin. Tomorrow. I will take tomorrow. So he said, fine, you can take it tomorrow. Can I just tell you one story? He said, yes. So he said, there was a beautiful lake, nice lotuses blossoming in the lake, and there was a bumblebee. And this bumblebee came, sat on one of the nice lotuses, started eating the pollen, drinking the honey, and did little atyahar, So tummy became too full, about to doze off in the, in the flower. There was a sage sitting on the bank of that lake doing meditation. And he looked at this bumblebee and he warned her. He said, now it is sunset time. The lotus will get closed and will get trapped inside. Now you have eaten and drunk enough. Go to your place. The bumblebee said, no. This is nice soft bed also. So after doing atyahar, I am going to sleep here only. And tomorrow morning, anyways, when the sun rises, the lotus will again open. Then I will go home. Tathastu. The sage said, went back to his meditation. What happened in the night? A huge pack of elephants came, big herd. And they were all in their own endeavor for good food and good water. So finally they came across this lake and they were so thirsty. One of the elephants, whatever the available lotuses anywhere, he just plucked them out. He ate them. And when he ate, in one of those lotuses was this bumblebee. She went into the stomach of the elephant and got digested in the gastric juices of that elephant. The hippie said, I am taking the book. Don't postpone, because you don't have any assurance of what is going to happen next. When you get it, grab it. Krishna consciousness. So, facts tell, stories sell. So I saw another amazing miracle. Our Ramrati Prabhu, he has gone there and he has become a don in the field of book distribution. So he and his whole family, they just go knock on any door. And sometimes people who come out, they are not necessarily Vedic culture, no clue what is Krishna. So once they went into a home and they were from Iran, proper Muslims, in San Jose. And then it's interesting. They don't talk to them about the book like, these are the 18 volumes and 18,000 verses. No such a thing. They directly begin with the story. So there was this great writer and sage called Vyasadeva. And he compiled a huge lot of literature. And he wrote so much. But after writing, he was not feeling satisfied. He was feeling very miserable. So he thought of his guru, spiritual master, that is Narad Muni. And Narad Muni came to him and he told him, you have not sufficiently glorified God, because of which you are feeling unhappy in your heart. So then he advised him, and that's how he wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Bhagavatam, Srimad means beautiful, Bhagavatam means about God. And this book has everything about God and our relationship with Him. And that lady said, yes, I'm taking the book. And at the end of the story. And he said, I couldn't believe myself that she said that. So I pinched myself and saw, it's not dream. Somebody's taking a book from me, that too from Islamic background. So the point I'm trying to make is that we should develop confidence in dealing with even very, very either very materialistic people or people who don't have any clue of our culture. Whether it is hippie or whatever. And present Krishna consciousness in a way that it sells. And Prabhupada said these books will sell themselves. You don't have to do anything. You just have to give the book in the hand of that person. And the book will talk what is to be done about the whole thing. So we should develop this type of approach. Sometimes we train our devotees only on one side, to be careful with the bad association. Important. But it is also important to train our devotees to be confident, to present Krishna consciousness. And not that presenting Krishna consciousness always means talking about it. So we know MMOT, modeling, mentoring, organizing. Sometimes story ends there, at organizing. And if they take further, then teaching. So that is about and this stage is like that the stage of a Madhyama Adhikari in Bhakti, where he sees every soul is in need of Krishna, and somehow I have been given this privilege of carrying Krishna either in the form of holy name, books, prasadam, or my own Krishna consciousness. I must give it to others. So we end there. One last story. We have heard this famous story, Manthara and Kaikeyi. So Kaikeyi was the greatest lover of Lord Ram. She was really in love with Ram. It is said that Lord Ram would call Kaikeyi as Mama, Ai, and he would call Kausalya as the second Ai. That was the name nomenclature. His own mother he would call as. That was the relationship he had with Kaikeyi. But when Manthara came, she really gave such an interesting twist and a very crooked understanding of the situation that Kaikeyi became convinced, and we know the whole Ramayana that happens after that. Similarly, lending our ear to any kind of ill propaganda eventually makes us get convinced of it. There is a saying, if you have to, this is Hitler, I think. Hitler had a advertising agency owner who was also a minister with him in the Germany. His name was Goebel. So this Goebel had a slogan. If you have to tell a lie and get people convinced about it, you have to tell a lie big enough, long enough, and bold enough, and people will be convinced about it. So big enough means such a lie you tell, people can say, my God, that cannot be a lie, na? So, and bold enough means you tell with such confidence, like Coca-Cola, enjoy, jo chahe ho jaye. So that's like bold. So really, if you drink Coca-Cola, everything happens in life. And then long enough, for a consistent period of time, people will start believing it. And this is how they actually convinced an entire nation to do atrocities over millions of Jews. So in our context, we have to be careful not to associate with Manthara-like people. Because that is one of the greatest dangers. Even after coming to Bhakti Yoga, the kind of association we keep around ourselves really decides where we go, even in Bhakti. So, on one level, Sangatyag is about non-devotees to be association to be given up. But another level of Sangatyaga is also within devotee association of such materialistic devotees, pseudo-devotees, quarter devotees, semi-devotees, whatever. I had another very bad word which I am not using. Who actually put doubts in our hearts, fuel our material desires, give us wrong ideas about a regulated lifestyle being, okay, itana kya niyam palan karna hai, Or there are people who have tremendous offensive mentality. So one has to guard against even such association to protect one's Bhakti Lata Bija. Because ultimately we have not come here for sorting out problems. We have come here for practicing Bhakti Yoga. So we have to be always focused on that point. Just like Brajavasis, they are so expert. They stay in Vrindavan. As soon as there is problem, they call Krishna. And then Krishna has to come and solve the problem. And what do the Brajavasis do? They keep the Nama Rupa Guna Lila Chintan of Krishna and talking about Krishna, serving Krishna. That is their life and soul. So that boring job of problem solving they give to Krishna. And the juicy job of meditation on Nama Rupa Guna Lila of Krishna they keep with themselves. Is this not intelligent? So there is Indra showering rain. No, Krishna Mahabaho. Krishna has to come lift the Govardhan hill. He is standing there with that, and Brajavasis are nicely looking at Krishna's beauty, peacefully, happily living their life. So in the same manner, we have to deal with problems that come in our life. This is a very controversial but happy story. One time in Vrindavan temple, there were two devotees, and one devotee was very aggressive, and he really wanted to get into management and organize things the best they can, and like a typical corporate kind of, approach. Everything has to be very pakka in our organization. And there was another devotee who was very simple-hearted, would do things little spontaneously, and then that would cause problem in the or management. And then management fellows, they would give him left and right. What kind of spontaneity is this? You cannot do like this. So then they had a big quarrel, and both of them went to Prabhupada. So this first devotee was a manager, also astute and also senior in position. He told Prabhupada that this devotee is creating so much problem. He doesn't listen, and he does things spontaneously, and things become haywire. So Prabhupada listened to him and said, thank you, I heard him, now I'll speak to the other devotee. So he called the second devotee. So then the second devotee is also in the same mood. Prabhu, they are not, devotional, they just think about their efficiency and, finance and this and that. And they have to do things, with heart for Krishna, You cannot just put everything into a box. So he had his own complaints to give. Prabhupada is such a genius. Prabhupada said, you have a devotional heart and you say that he has a managerial heart. So let him do management and you do peacefully your Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam. You do deity worship, sit and do your Kirtan. Read Bhagavatam 4 hours. Do things like that in life. Why are you taking tension? You are meant for this business. So he thought for a while. He said, why am I haggling, going around trying to set this right, that right? If I have not abilities like that, better I do what I can do. And he really followed that instruction of Prabhupada. And he became very happy. So sometimes, on one level, we have to do organization pakka so that our representation of Krishna consciousness to outside world is nice. But internally at heart of hearts, we have to maintain this mood that we have come here for what? Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. That devotee is the best devotee according to Krishna. Who heart of heart is. This does not mean that those who do management are not thinking of Krishna. We should not get into that illusion either. But if you are not able to handle the issues that happen with cluttersome dealings in management, we should decide that I can handle what I can. Rest of the time, I just spend sweet time with Krishna consciousness in the association of other loving devotees. Now, there was one point raised there called intimate. So, I always had this question, how intimate is too intimate and how intimate is formal? You understand that question? In dealing with people around you. Like, your office colleague is undergoing some health issue. Or he has got some, even office problems, typical. So, how much is too intimate and how much is less intimate? How do you decide that? So again, if we have to go and help a drowning man, and you are having a boat on which you are situated, you have a life rafter, you have all the needed, the rope and the other facilities, to pull him over, how much can you go deep into saving him? It all depends on how strongly you maintain your connection with these support systems. So if you go into water, and sometimes those fellows who are drowning, they just catch you, from whichever direction they can, and they take you along, rasatalam, So we have to be careful that we extend our hand while actually firmly our hand is holding to our support system. So that care one must maintain. So that much intimate is okay, no problem. And we can feel it. The immediate impact generally is on our sadhana. And the next immediate impact is on our attitudes towards devotional personalities and activities. So as soon as that gets disturbed, we should understand this is not going good. I need to take a pause. Thank you.